There's a ton of different developments and communities and neighborhoods going up all around Orlando, but in today's video, I wanted to dive into 5 areas slash communities slash developments in different parts of Orlando that I think presents a unique opportunity to you guys if you want to kind of get in on the upswing, one of which Orlando has never actually seen before. Excited to get into it. All right, so the first area we're going to be talking about is probably one you've heard me talk about before. If you haven't, it's going to be a good one though, and it's going to be Sunbridge. Sunbridge is one of the most popular developments right now going on in Orlando with a 15 to 20 plus year build out. And so when you have a community that has that long of a build out, you can expect great things given the plans that we've seen from Tavistock and also what we've seen from Tavistock in terms of their completed or semi-completed projects, i.e. Lake Nona. And so right now Sunbridge has 2 of many communities to come. You have Westland Park, which is modeled after Laureate Park. So you have 5 different builders and they're ranging anywhere in price from mid-4s to all the way up over $1 million, depending on if you're looking at a townhome or a 3,500 square feet home by Toll Brothers. And so you can really get crazy with your designs, your architecture, doesn't really matter. There is something for you in Westland Park as there were in Laureate Park. And then you also have the 55 plus community, which is going to be Del Webb Sunbridge, which is by Pulte Homes. Similar price points. A 2-2 can run you in the 4s, and then you can kind of take it up on from there. And so Sunbridge, if you're not too familiar, I've made tons of videos on it, so I'll link those up in the cards. It has its own playlist because it's that big of a community. And so it's really supposed to be this naturehood, not a neighborhood. And so they're infusing excursions, you're going to have lakes, canals, but you're also going to be mixing in some of the good things that they've taken from Lake Nona, as it's the same development company. And so you will have your employment district, you're going to have a town center with a marina, and it's supposed to be this really big, unique project, which I think is going to bode well for the future when you're looking at 10 plus years. So really, whether you're looking to make a move for yourself, or you might not want to move to Orlando right now, but you do want to acquire a rental property in an area that you think has growth, I think Sunbridge is definitely a place you should be looking at. All right, so for number 2, you probably haven't heard me talk about this before, but it's going to be the Packing District. And the Packing District is located right between 32808 and 32804, which is basically College Park. And so you're going to be pretty much College Park adjacent, pretty close to downtown Orlando. It's not as large of a project like Sunbridge, which is 24,000 acres. This is a couple hundred acres, but it is a very cool project, really rooted in history of the land. And so kind of to give a brief backstory on the Packing District, the land is owned by Dr. P. Phillips. That's Dr. Philip. But this site was one of the multiple packing houses he used to own back when Orlando had a booming citrus industry. And what's really cool about this particular location is that it was actually the first industrial property in Central Florida. And so kind of digging into that history, you'll have sort of semblance of what it used to be now in the present development, which is kind of really cool to see. And so what does it feature? It's going to have a YMCA family center. It's going to have a regional park, trails, food hall, townhomes in the form of the bricks by Toll Brothers. Going to have some multi-family development as well, and the coolest of them all is going to be the 4 Roots Farm and Agriculture Center. Let's pretend we're hanging out live because I really want to show you what this 4 Roots Farm campus is going to entail, because again, I think it's very unique and specifically cool to the Packing District. And so the 4 Roots Farm campus is going to have a education center with classrooms, and as it says here, it's going to feature 4 30-seat flexible lab classrooms for hosting students, teachers, families, farmers, healthcare professionals, and more to offer hands-on learning activities related to food, farming, health, and sustainability. Next up, you have the Community Green, which is going to be a 21,000 square feet green space that's going to be in the center of the campus, and it's going to serve as a beautiful venue for weekly farmers markets. We all love those, as well as other fun community events. And so I think this is super cool for this area. It's not an area that's seen a ton of development or anything of the sort. And so again, just really nice to see this in this area, and which is why I think this might be a good play. I really do believe buying in the Packing District or even the surrounding areas will bode you well in the future once this whole thing kind of gets built out and is up and running. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Side note, I've been meeting a lot of you guys out on the streets lately, which by the way, thank you so much for coming up, saying hi. Love interacting and meeting you guys, but a lot of you have been saying that you didn't even know I was a realtor. So I'm obviously doing a bad job of plugging myself. So I want to stop here to say, hey, I'm a realtor full-time. I help people buy and sell houses, and I'd love to help you as well. And so if you need help buying or selling, please hit the description below. I have my email, phone number, and my Calendly link for you to book a time. Back to the video. So number 3 is going to be the Wellness Way area. This is up in Claremont. This is a 16,000 acre project, 15,000 plus residential units, 11 million square feet of non-residential space. This is a massive project, and within the project is this relatively small in size but large in innovation. This project is known as the Olympus Project. I don't know how many times I've said project, but it has to be a lot by now. This is also one of the areas I've talked about ad nauseum on the channel, but it's just because it's just that big of a project. The Olympus Project specifically is what we've had most information on up to this point. And so you're talking a 5,800 multi-purpose seat arena, 3,500 seat soccer stadium, among many other things. I'll pop them up on the screen, and I'll also link in the cards the previous videos that I've done talking about this topic. But this is going to create, just Olympus alone, a $1.5 billion economic impact on Lake County. Keep in mind, that's just a 243 acre project, leaving the 15,000 plus acres to be used for something just as good, if not better. And so that is why I think you should be paying attention to the Wellness Way area and buying some real estate in this area. Now, right now, there isn't a ton of options, but you do have one, a very good one, and that is Ridgeview by Pulte/Hanover, which is now known as Landsea Homes. Now, there's gonna be tons of more options as the area continues to get built out. You got GT Homes, a Canadian home builder, entering the Orlando market for the first time and choosing Wellness Way to do it. You also have Lennar Homes. We all know Lennar. They're building a huge subdivision in Wellness Way. You got Beazer Homes. You got David Weekley, which is going to be the builder directly in the Olympus project. And so if you want to be as close as possible, that is going to be where you want to do it. But again, anywhere in and around, if you're going Ridgeview, if you're looking to buy right now, or in the future, you do have some options, and I think it's going to be a really legit place to buy. This is something Claremont has never seen, neither has the rest of Orlando, and so there's a lot of money behind this project, and so a lot of money should come out of it, which is why I think this might be a good place for you to invest in. All right, so for number 4, working our way up to that last one, innovative, first of its kind coming to Orlando, but this one is pretty cool too, and this is going to be the Vista Park master plan development, of which you will have the community of Everby by Pulte Home. Now, Vista Park is entitled up to 43 residential units between houses and apartments, about 20,000 square feet of office space, and then 80,000 square feet of retail space. Pulte is entitled up to 3487 dwelling units, which they have a gated section that could be turned into a Del Webb community, so 55 plus. And so they're gonna have a waterfront 21 acre town center. They're gonna have some retail shops, and by the renderings of this place, it looks really nice. It seems that they're going into a direction of mixing in sort of that Laureate Park feel, so a lot of parks and community parks and mews. I think the biggest thing going for this development is the location. You're just north of Lake Nona, which means you have good proximity to the airport. You also have good proximity to the Space Coast. You're about an hour to the Space Coast, and then you have a lot of the major employers in and around that area as well. It's bordered by the 417 and the 528, and so in terms of zipping back into Orlando relatively quickly, I know Orlando has traffic. I know somebody's gonna get on me in the comments about that, but you still are able to get into Orlando in a relatively quick manner. It is a project I'm definitely watching right now, keeping in contact with whoever I can that is associated with this project. I've had people reach out about the project when there was literally barely any information, and so there is demand there, and it's something to keep in mind if you want to live close to Lake Nona but not pay Lake Nona prices. Then I think this project is certainly worth the watch and the buy and the investment. Last but certainly not least, this project is the first of its kind coming to Orlando. This community is known as Orlando's first agri-hood, also known as The Grow. Now, an agri-hood is essentially a farm and garden community, and so specifically for The Grow, it's gonna feature just north of 2,000 residential lots, 100,000 square feet of commercial space. It's all gonna be centered around a 9-acre working farm, really blending old and new at its finest. But it's really cool to see something like this in Orlando, and its amenities are even cooler. And so you're talking a street dedicated just for farmers markets, a farmers farm and table restaurant, bike share programs, edible landscape trails, 20-acre community gardens, 21-acre community park. You have tons of trails. You have an equestrian facility. You're gonna have a new elementary school in there as well. Over 650 acres of green space. The list goes on and on. This is one of the coolest projects. Now, there isn't any pricing, so again, what I'm talking about here is things to invest in the future. It was a really cool place to live because there's always something coming to the area, whether that's a new community, a new project, a new entertainment space, a new commercial building, a new company. It's just endless, and that's why I love it here. And so if you do too, and you're possibly thinking of investing or buying a home here for yourself in the Orlando area, I'd love to partner with you as your real estate agent. And so you can reach out to me by email, text, or call, or you can book a time on your own time with time that works best for both you and I on my Calendly, which is all down in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, found some value from it, hit the like and hit the subscribe button, join the family. Comment down below what you'd like to see in the next video, and also comment your thoughts on this video. Which area are you looking out for? Follow me over on Instagram at Orlando with Mario. I'm posting different content there and also taking you through my daily life if you are interested in that kind of stuff. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one, but until then, you stay safe.